Good. I hope you're all well and staying safe at home. So we are going to carry on with our learning that we were doing this week about non-chronological reports. So a non-chronological report is basically an information text, and you can read each section in whichever order you can, because it doesn't matter about which order you read it in, you still know what you're reading about. So our non-chronological report, was about tea. So we need to be making sure that we add these different things into our writing. So we're using conjunctions to explain. So using because, which means so. So we're explaining why those things are the way they are. We're using conjunctions to contrast, although, however, whereas, and but. So having two ideas and trying to make them contrast. We'll kind of go into that a bit later. We're using to start our own sentences and making sure we use the sentence starters to help us. And I'll make sure the sentence starters are on later on so you can see. And to add your own information and detail. So the next subheading that I'm going to be writing is the best tea. So we've got these little facts here. So we've got some people say that Darjeeling tea is the finest, which grows in the clouds of the Himalayan mountains in India. We've got green tea is made by steaming the leaves so that they can stay green, then drying them in ovens. And then we've got green tea can be found at the foot of Mount Fuji. Can you remember where Mount Fuji is? Which country is it in? Yes, you're right, it's in Japan. So it's in Japan, and actually Mount Fuji is a volcano. So we also need to be making sure that we're using our sentence starters. So some people think that, it is believed that, and amazingly has a comma after it, and that's because it's a fronted adverbial. We also need to be using words like because, which means that, however, whereas, and although. So similar to what we said on our success criteria. So I'm going to think, right, I really like the start of this one of the Darjeeling tea. So let's have a go at writing it. So some people think that the finest tea is Darjeeling, which grows in the cloud-covered Himalayan mountains in India. Okay, so I've made sure Darjeeling has a capital letter. Now, can you have a think about why Darjeeling might need a capital letter? Yeah, you're totally right. It's because it's a name of something, and that's the same for the Himalayan mountains because it's a name of something, and India, which is of course is a country, so they're all proper nouns. So let's read this back. Some people think that the finest tea is Darjeeling, which grows in the cloud-covered Himalayan mountains in India. Okay, fantastic. So I've used my which and making sure that we use a comma before that as well. And then we've got, I'm going to try and have an idea to contrast. So having two different ideas that have a bit of a contrast. So I'm going to put, however, comma, the most popular tea in Japan is green tea. So remember, we're contrasting those ideas. So some people think that the finest tea is Darjeeling tea. However, the most popular is green tea, which is in Japan. So, which is found on the slopes of Mount Fuji. And if you want to add that extra fact about Mount Fuji being a volcano, that would be fantastic as well. So I'm going to go on to my last fact, which is about green tea being steamed, okay? So green tea is steamed, which means that it stays green before it is dried in ovens. Okay. So let's read this through. So some people think that the finest tea is Darjeeling, which is grown in the cloud-covered Himalayan mountains in India. However, the most popular tea in Japan is green tea, which is found in the slopes of Mount Fuji. Green tea is steamed, which means that it stays green before it is dried in ovens. Excellent. So I think that's a really good start. So make sure that you're using these words. So using some people think, it is believed that, amazingly. Using because, which means that, however, whereas, and although. I'm also just going to put on for a couple of seconds any spellings that you might need in any sentence starters. So I'm just going to go over to that. So make sure if you need to have a pause of this video, if you just want to have a look at any spellings or any things that you might need. So I'm just going to give you a couple of seconds. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so we've done that next subheading and we've got one last subheading to do. Now, this last subheading is a did you know section, okay? And as you notice, did you know has something at the end. What is this punctuation at the end? Have a think. Yes, it's a question mark because we're asking some question. We're asking a question, did you know that? And here you can see that there are some funny looking bits of punctuation. Now these are what we call bullet points. You say it, bullet points. Good, well done. So I'm going to start off with some of these did you know facts. So green tea is an evergreen plant from the Camellia family. So evergreen means that it's always growing. It never loses its leaves in the winter. On to the next fact now, okay? Oolong means the black dragon, okay? So that's one of my other facts. The tea bag was invented in the United States in the early 20th century. Now, I saw a couple of people writing this already. I thought that was really interesting. And I didn't even know it came so early on. So let's have another good look. So the Dutch and English brought tea from China to Europe in the 1600s. So I know other people wrote that in their facts as well. Trying to cast your mind back at what other facts that we know. And if you want to, because you're at home, you can find facts on the internet about tea that you would like to add in. My last fact is the English add milk to their tea, but other countries prefer to drink it with nothing. Now, I know lots of people were saying that when we were testing our tea the other week, some people were saying, well, we have tea in our milk. And I was like, yeah, that's totally right. But some people don't have tea in their milk. So have a think. Can you think of any other facts that you know or facts that we have used in our writing already? Or if you're feeling extra organized, you can also find some facts about tea on the internet at home. So make sure that your work goes to me, send it to me at y3willow@australiabyronwood.org. I would love to see your work and to make sure that we're keeping up with all our learning as well. Okay, so I'm just going to let you have a look at this for a bit longer, and I'll also show you the communicating print and the help support there. This will also be on the school website as well, on the home learning section. So please make sure that you send any work to me, and I would love to read it and see how you're getting on. I hope to hear from you soon and see your work. So for now,